continue from the previous lesson, or open the file Chapter 18 Office Suite Render 04.max. In this lesson, we're going to render an image using the Image Overlay effect to display lighting analysis values in the final rendered image. We can get to the Lighting Analysis Overlay by clicking on the Lighting Analysis menu and choosing Lighting Analysis Assistant. In the Lighting Analysis Assistant dialog, click the Analysis Output tab. Scroll to the Image Overlay rollout, then click the Edit option. That will open the Environment and Effects dialog. Once the dialog is open, click Lighting Analysis Image Overlay in the Effects list, and the parameters populate in the bottom of the dialog. Let's make some changes to these parameters so we can get the result we're looking for. First, under Display Options, we're going to turn on the option Show Numbers on Entire Image Screen Grid. Then turn off the option Show Numbers from Light Meter Helper Objects. Leave the options for Show Camera Name, Show Daylight Info, and Fade Background Image checked. Since we will be rendering a smaller image, 320 by 240, set the vertical spacing to 30 and the horizontal spacing to 30. That will give us 30 pixels between each sample. Make sure the camera view is active. Next, in the preview area, check the interactive option. That will open up the renderer and render the image. Plus, it will allow us to interactively edit the values that we have here in order to get an optimal view of our image overlay effect. Once the rendering is complete, close the pseudo color window. When the rendering finishes, we can see the image overlay effect. Let's slide this out of the way a little bit so we can access the effects parameters in the Environment and Effects dialog. Now this effect is interactive, and we can update these values and see the changes immediately. Let's look at the values in the overlay. According to the statistics, the largest displayed value is 4,709 lux. If we look in the image, that value is currently white. We want that value to be red, to represent the brightest point in the image. In the parameters rollout, type and range area, set the max value to 4,710 and press enter. Notice that the color values in the image overlay change and represent a linear function from a minimum value of 0 to a maximum value of 4,710. However, in this scene, the way that we're looking at it, our minimum value is actually 224. Now set the min value to 200, and that will give us a more accurate range from the lowest value to the highest. It also gives us a good color scale from red to blue and the colors in between that represent the values between those colors. Since the camera name has no use to us at this point, turn off the Show Camera Name option in the Display Options area. Since the daylight information shows us some valuable information, we'll leave it on. Also, turning it off would change the location of the analysis points in the image by shifting them up, which would cause us to have to change the minimum and maximum range values. The same goes for changing the grid spacing. If we change the spacing between samples, the value at each sample will change. It can be helpful to set the grid and display options first, then set the range values to fit the resulting sample values. Once we're done, we can save this as an image file. A simple way to do this is click the Save Image option from the Render Frame window toolbar. In the Save Image dialog, name the image Image Overlay Effect .png and click Save. In the PNG configuration dialog, set the color to RGB 24-bit, make sure the alpha channel is unchecked, and click OK. That just saved the file down to the hard drive so we can use it later in a presentation, or bring it up separately at a later time to discuss the results.